Hi everyone, welcome back to OncoDaily. My name is Emma Ter-Azaryan, and today it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest, Anna Forsythe. Hi Anna, it's very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Thank you for this opportunity.
So before we start, I would like to briefly introduce our guest. Anna Forsythe is the founder and president of OncoScope AI. Anna, I would like to ask you, what inspired you to found OncoScope AI, and what problem in oncology were you determined to solve?
Thank you again. My background is in clinical evidence generation and market access, helping pharmaceutical companies launch drugs. And I spent over 25 years doing that, mostly in oncology. But what I realized recently is that the solutions that I was providing for pharmaceutical companies are also very much needed by doctors and other healthcare professionals, because the amount of the information, especially in oncology, is staggering. Every month, we have new regulatory approvals, guideline changes, and every week we have multiple new publications. One cancer is no longer one disease. It is multiple diseases, and the role of targeted therapies and immunotherapy is becoming more and more important as these therapies allow patients to not only have longer lives, but the better quality of life during that time. And I wanted to provide a source of data, because it's not the problem that there's not enough data. There's too much data, and it is very, very hard to process that data and find the exact information you need to when you have a patient in front of you and you have very limited time.
Thank you. For someone hearing about OncoScope AI for the first time, how would you describe what it does in simple terms?
Well, it is a platform in an online application, almost like Expedia for travel, where you can log in, you require no training whatsoever. And it pulls information from various sources. So several medical databases, Congress publications, guidelines, regulatory approvals. And it pulls it all into one place and cross-links and cross-checks all that information. So in the matter of few clicks, you can find the exact type of evidence you are looking for the question you have in mind.
Can you describe the initial stages of developing OncoScope AI and how your background influenced its design?
Well, our biggest challenge truly is to shifting mindsets of treating oncologists from the static PDFs, the journals they like to read. They all are used to reading a lot of information, and to having something static that updates periodically, like the guidelines, to actually this concept of a living evidence system. And we hope that we can overcome that with real time, as we could show the value of the platform, having something that is constantly being updated daily, actually, and is available to them on a daily basis.
What has been the most exciting moment for you since launching OncoScope AI?
The most exciting moment was truly when we were at ASCO and we had a little booth, and oncologists were coming and just saying, well, let me see what it is. And you could tell they don't believe this is possible or something like this can exist. And then they would use their own examples, what they are looking to find. And in 3 clicks, they would say, usually the word is, wow, all that. Oh, hold on. Okay. And so how do I get access to that? And that is the most exciting, that when you finally let someone try it, and it takes really 5 minutes to try, how excited people that they actually can have something like that every day, helping them to treat patients.
Since launching OncoScope AI, what kind of differences are you already starting to see for oncologists using this platform?
since we've launched, we actually have been doing multiple reiterations and improvements to the product, because what we're seeing is people go in, they try it, they like it, but they also usually have comments for us. And the differences we see is I saw several doctors, they actually replied to me and they said they applied it to their patients. I mean, the biggest achievement I had is I do have a close friend who's suffering from stage 4 breast cancer. And her physician is using the tool. He has used the tool and he actually prescribed based on the information he found on the tool. It's not because he didn't know it, but something new was approved by the FDA within a week. And within that week, he had the access to that information. And he actually put her on the ADC and she's doing quite well instead of being on a traditional chemotherapy. And just to see her and to know that the side effects are much, much lighter, that this person now can enjoy life. And the information got to the doctor because of that, because at the time that he prescribed it, this was not yet even in the guideline. Okay, this was just approved the week it was approved. So to see that kind of ability to change one life at a time, to me, this is quite amazing.
Thank you. What new features or capabilities are you currently developing to enhance OncoScope AI's value to oncologists?
Well, actually, we have launched our first type of the product, and it is called Essential, and it's meant to be for community oncologists, because this is where we started our journey, because those are very, very busy doctors. They treat multiple cancers, and they simply just do not have the time to research every single genetic mutation, every single approval or guideline change. We've quickly, though, realized that there are other types of doctors that have different needs. So a lot of our users are actually in academic institutions, and a lot of them are fellows or recent fellows, but they are trying to specialize there, or more experienced doctors that are experts in their field, and they still realize that there's too much going on, because after they went to ASCO, they came back from the meeting and there's way too much information that has been presented and they need to keep it up all in their heads. So we are actually getting ready to release a new version, and it will be called the Edge. So the Essential and the Edge, both versions will exist in parallel, because depending on what your needs are, the different version will help you. The Essential helps you look at the world of evidence from the point of one patient at a time. You have a patient in front of you, you answer a few questions on the characteristics of that patient, and you see all the relevant references with the information, whether it is approved, whether it is in the guideline, what category it is, and so forth, with the links to relevant full-text studies, FDA labels, and so forth. Now, the Edge is meant for the person who may want to take a broader topic. For example, how are ADCs used in lung cancer? So you are not searching anymore one patient. You are searching by class of intervention, for example, or by genetic mutations. What's new in PIK3 mutations in breast? So you could use any type of search to me backwards from the middle. And we're creating kind of a cool tool that is a disease map, which is clickable on the iPad. And it's almost like a game, for the nerds that we are. It's like a game that you could play. Also, we are adding a feature of ability to search by source of data, because we received several requests saying, I know a lot has happened in the last 2 months, but I just want to see what happened at ASCO or what is happening at World Lung that is upcoming. So they would be able to limit where we're searching, just the evidence based on, so that they can see what's new from this Congress, if they can attend or if they plan to attend. Because, for example, World Lung is releasing data today or tomorrow, I think tomorrow. And so this week, and it's not happening until September. So for those that are going there, they can even help plan their schedule to see the most important presentation. And then they don't have to take notes because they have them and they're organized. And lastly, we had a request from several tumor boards saying that, well, I want to be prepared. I want to search deeper to see the patients with specific mutations and in certain subgroups, let's say with brain metastases. And so we are giving them these types of add-on feature to do. So it's kind of a lot of features. I am not quite sure whether we're going to dump it all in one release, but something is being the edge as the product with the new ability to search in a different ways is being released. Stay tuned any day now. And then we're going to be adding these new features. And if I have a moment, one more feature, which is quite important. Doctors spend a lot of times writing justifications for the prior authorization. It seems like it's a pet peeve for many doctors that they have to provide that. They have to provide the references. They need a short report, we were told. So it's coming. There will be an ability to, once you searched a specific type of the patients by genetic characteristics and you identify the therapy you want to prescribe, you will be able to download that report that would have all the references. So it would save you time on these things that are more administrative versus the decisions still stay with the doctor.
It was very exciting and inspiring to hear about the new features of OncoScope AI. I would like to ask you, what obstacles have you faced in gaining adoption among clinical teams, and how are you addressing them?
Well, I'm still a startup, and I'm a newbie in the world of oncology physicians. As I mentioned, my whole career was in pharma. So in pharma, I know a lot of people. They know me, I know them, so they hear Anna, and there is a trust. There is an instant trust. After all, we're humans, right? We need to trust that person. Now, with oncologists, I have to build that trust. So the truth is, the most people that we sign up as new subscribers are based on when we go to a meeting. So when we went to ASCO and with somebody had spent 5 minutes with us and try the tool for their own, there's never an issue. But to get to spread that information, I obviously do not have the reach like OncoDaily. You know the doctors, I don't. So that has been the main challenge. How do I reach out to them? And then slowly, institution by institutions, we are getting the name out there. But truthfully, that has been the main challenge for me.
Thank you. If you could collaborate with any organization or leader in oncology tomorrow, who would it be and what would you build together?
I would love to collaborate with an organization that has a goal of educating oncologists, that provides high quality evidence to oncologists to save their time, to help them keep up to date, because ultimately I have similar goals. So there's multiple organizations, that some that are very big and that some that are much smaller. So I would love to collaborate with an organization like that, because not only do they understand immediately what it is I am providing, and they're equally excited about that, they have a similar goal to reach, and many of them already have the oncologist trust. So that kind of would be my dream.
And my last two questions. Where do you see OncoScope AI most valuable in 5 years? And how might the platform evolve to meet future oncology needs?
Well, I am hoping that that this becomes almost like Expedia, or a tool that the tool that we all use and that the oncologists can use, access for free in their daily practice, that this is going to be something they know. Like we all know Google now, right? And this would be something that you could trust, and you could get the information daily. I do, as an evolving, the world of AI is evolving in a very, very fast pace. And at this point, we as humans still do not really know how to control AI really well so that we can trust it. In oncology, that could become quite dangerous because you cannot trust something that gives you a black box of what it has searched and, why did it provide this reference and not the other reference, for example, right? We don't have a control, and we still don't have control over hallucinations and, AI inventing things sometimes for us. But I am sure that this is going to change and this is going to improve. AI is just a tool. AI now is like internet was 20 years ago when somebody says, oh, I use internet to do that. And everybody was, oh, very, very scared. How are you doing this? Or a cell phone, there was life. You're very young, but there was a life before we use cell phone and do that. So AI is going to become our everyday, something we could rely on. So that's not going to eliminate doctors or the systematic approach to evidence review and summarizing like the system we have, because we are not a chatbot. We are a tool that uses AI to help human PhD team to do their work faster. And I'm sure that as technology gets better, this part is going to get better. I also hope that the various systems in oncology practice are all going to get more integrated, from, diagnosis to then choosing that treatment to potentially selecting a clinical trial if there's no treatment available. Right now, there's all these smaller companies that are extremely innovative and very exciting to see what I saw at ASCO. But we're all individuals, little companies, little startups. What I see is this will hopefully become integrated healthcare system with the doctors in the center of that could then spend their time talking to patients more, thinking and discussing with them how are they feeling, and trying to make sure that we all live longer and better lives.
And finally, what drives you personally as a founder working at the intersection of cancer care and AI?
On a personal level, when you reach my age, every day you learn that someone has been either diagnosed with cancer or their cancer has progressed. And when you spend most of your life in cancer research, you tend to get questions from people who are scared, who do not know, and whose doctor doesn't have the time to talk to them for a long time because of how busy we all are. And it started for me with really 3 people that are my friends that have cancer. And I was trying to just help them navigate and being frustrated how difficult it is to find the information, even for me as a professional in healthcare with a lot of experience. And I did it one patient at a time. And when I changed the course of therapy for 2 out of 3, how difficult it was for the third one, and how difficult it is for me emotional to even, when I know something that exists and the patient is being prescribed the very old-fashioned chemo, because the doctor, I don't want to critique them. I am sure they know what they know, but it doesn't seem that they follow the new guidelines or they are up to date in their information. And I just realized that I have the knowledge that I gained with all my pharma experience. And now with AI, we can actually create something like this. We could provide a tool for the healthcare professionals, doctors may to use that at least we cannot change their, practice. It's very hard to change anybody's practice, but at least we could easily provide that information in an easily digestible format to them so that they can have a choice to see this information in front of them. They no longer have an excuse to say, well, I'm too busy. I don't have time to go to ASCO meeting. It's there. It's there for this specific patients with all the important information. So to me, I really, really do hope that I could change few patients' lives, just one patient at a time.
Thank you, Anna. It was
Thank you.
a really great pleasure for me to talk to you today.
Thank you very much.
Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to OncoDaily on YouTube. Hit the bell icon to stay updated.